Hey everybody, welcome back. Brand new week here on the Cabral Concept. Always starting the week off with our Mindset and Motivation Monday. We've been doing that now for well over 8 years, and I'm excited that we want to keep the tradition going. One of the reasons is that although we can help people get well inside of our practice, and we've been doing that now for well over 20 years, what I want to share with you is this, is that it's not just about getting well. Because you can get well sometimes by accident. I did, even in my 20s. It took me 10 years to get well, but there'd be periods where I was well. I really was, but then I would relapse. And the reason I would relapse is because I didn't really know how I got well. I tried a bunch of different things, but I don't know which one it was that actually stuck. Plus, I didn't realize at the time how important my mind was for the healing process. That's ultimately why I wrote The Rain Barrel Effect. It's why I created the de-stress protocol: diet, exercise, stress reduction, tox removal, emotional balance, scientifically backed supplement protocols, and a success mindset. You'll see that about half of those deal with stress in the mind and emotions. And the reason is that that's not balanced. We eventually relapse because our immune system suffers so much from anxiety, depression, anger, rage, guilt, shame, etc. A lot of those I talk about again in the Rain Barrel Effect. But what I wanted to go over today was I would say it's a podcast revisited. I'll share with you my previous one. Everything today is very simple. It's at stephencabral.com/3090. But for people that are struggling with anxiety, depression, or mood swings, I want to do a show for you that's not about testing the gut health, which is really important, looking at your hormone levels, your cortisol levels, your estrogen dominance, your low thyroid, your low vitamin D, your low methylated B vitamins. All of those matter because there are so many reasons why people suffer from anxiety and depression at any age. And I'm going to tell you right now, and again, this is not just me. I didn't invent these things. I will have people come into my practice, and this includes my whole team and IHPs, and in 3 weeks, all of their anxiety, mood swings, and other things that, I don't even necessarily feel appropriate talking about from certain case studies where people were putting themselves in great danger, are gone within weeks. And these aren't miracles. They seem like it. But what happened was people were just so greatly deficient in certain nutrients, such as vitamin D. We know that it leads to depression. Certain methylated B vitamins. Everybody talks about methylcobalamin, which is B12, and methylfolate, but vitamin B6 is such a huge one for the nervous system and the brain and the mind. So these are just a few, but they do matter, and they make an enormous difference. Omega-3s make a huge difference on mood and depression. So yes, vitamin deficiencies and toxicities like gut-based issues are big factors in anxiety and depression. So if you can, run the Big Five. If you can't do the Big Five, run the vitamin tox test, or it's called the starter kit. You can find those at stephencabral.com/shop. It just takes you over to EcoLife. You can always just go to eco.life, but everybody likes to add a little .com to it. And so people sometimes get lost. If you go to stephencabral.com/shop, it'll take you right over there. But those are lab tests, and you can run them with our team, find out what your vitamin and deficiency levels are, vitamin and mineral deficiencies, because all of them matter. Selenium, zinc, they all matter. Or you can run them with an Integrative Health Practitioner level 2. So your choice. Again, you don't have to work with us. If you don't want, I just want you to open that up. But there is also a part to this, to the mindset. All right. So not just the physical body. I want to look at the mind today, because this is a Motivation and Mindset Monday. And so where we all want to be, at least me, I can't speak for everyone, of course. I can't. But I think that there's this space in life that we all touch from time to time that looks like we've got great clarity in life, where we almost feel like we're in that zone, right? Things are going really well. We might not be able to hold it for more than a few minutes or a few hours, or maybe more than a few days if we're lucky, but we know it when we're there. And it is this overall clarity and, I would say, acceptance in life, meaning that maybe not everything is going according to plan, right? Not everything is perfect. I would say that's all of life. That is part of life. We are human beings, and we're encountering all of these different obstacles and challenges, and sometimes not against us, but actually for us, to help us develop to a greater degree. We don't always know why, and I'm not going to sit here and claim I know why bad things sometimes happen to good people. I can't explain that, right? Certainly can't always explain that. That's for sure. But what I want to share with you is this, that throughout life, we will have a sense of joy at times. We will have a sense of, as I said before, clarity as to, I get it. I'm starting to feel like I figured this out, right? And this understanding of the ebb and flow of life. Well, there are challenges and there's also these highs, and the challenges and obstacles would be the lows. And you come to maybe a sense of inner peace where things aren't perfect, but things are great just where they are. They could always be better. Like the grass is always greener. There's no doubt about that. You can't let that affect your inner peace. And one of the ways that I find that I'm able to pull myself back to this joy or acceptance, understanding, inner peace is through gratitude. And I did a podcast many, many years ago now that said if I could only give basically 2 bits of advice on kind of working on our mindset, it would be giving gratitude, especially during the times where we don't feel grateful because we're not receiving what it is that we're looking for. Now, again, you can give the gratitude to the world, the universe, the creator, God, however you like to pray or give thanks is great. I think it's great, but we do need to give gratitude. And so if we can just stop for a moment, you can journal or not journal, but write down or say out loud, at least to yourself as you're walking, I'm thankful for, I'm grateful for. And it can be as broad as this life, for being alive, for this morning, for waking up pain-free today, for my kids being happy, for this food in front of me, for being able to get a great night's sleep, for being able to afford going out and get a coffee every morning, whatever it might be, give thanks. What I found is that the more thanks we give, the more we receive. Now, part of that is that we're more open, we're more self-aware. Wow. Oh, I really do have this. I really do have this. Oh, I'm finding more things to be grateful for. Take a few minutes and just rattle off everything that you can think about. I'll say things like, I'm grateful that I have all of these books. Really random, right? Like I've got this beautiful library that I can always look back on. I'm grateful that I'm able to have nice spring water. I'm able to make hydrogenated water. I'm grateful that I'm able to purchase a lunch if I ever forgot mine, that I'm able to just walk out and get one. I'm grateful for an amazing team that pushes forward this shared mission that we all have. I'm grateful for the 5,000 integrative health practitioners around the world helping others. I'm grateful for all of our listeners in this community taking charge of their own health, listening to the podcast, sharing the podcast. I'm grateful for my kids, my family, my parents, so you can just keep going. And it's not easy in the beginning because you're just not used to it. But after that, it's really difficult then to be upset. So you at least get a few moments of peace. And so besides gratitude, I'm going to get to the past and the future in just a moment with depression and anxiety. But for at least a moment then, it also gives us amazing perspective. So those are my 2 most important themes that I always talk about is gratitude and perspective. Perspective that I guess things aren't as bad as I'm making them out to be. Perspective that things could always be a lot worse and we don't want that alternative. So that's what I look at that helps me come back to the present because anxiety is really thoughts of the future. I've shared it before, but not necessarily in this way. And I want to give you a few things to think about. If you are overthinking scenarios, like, well, what if this happens? And then what if that happens? And then this could happen. And then we'd have to start all over, or like whatever it might be, or we lose everything. Those are all what ifs. Those are always the future. What ifs can't happen in the present, and they can't happen in the past because the past has already happened. So there's no what if. It's already done. The present is just now. But we're always being pulled from the present moment to the future or the past if we're not currently present. So what I want to share with you is this. If you have a case of the what ifs and you're always worrying about what could happen in the future, that's creating anxiety. That is all anxiety-prone thinking. Thinking about all of the worst case scenarios. And if you're doing that, you are literally causing your mind to worry about all of the bad things that could happen. Now, none of them have happened, but yet you are experiencing it as it is happening right now. Because all your mind knows are the thoughts and feelings and emotions that are attached to it. which is why we have so much control really over our life, is because our mind and our body are essentially reflecting our inner thoughts and feelings, which then allow us to take action. If we're always worried about the future, we're oftentimes playing defensive and not offensive. So defensive means we're just taking whatever the world gives us and we're trying to deal with that. Offensive is we're taking control of our life. We're taking responsibility for our own self and making things happen. So that fear of the unknown, the fear of the what if could scenarios is what is truly anxiety inducing. And I'm not saying that it's the only thing. So I want to be careful with, how I'm phrasing this. It's not the only thing that causes anxiety, because you can have present moment things where someone's sick, you're worried about someone. It's true. But at the same time, you're playing what ifs. What if something even worse happens to this individual, right? So just be careful. And I wanted to point it out that when you start to create these worst case scenarios, you're bringing your worry from the future, which hasn't even happened yet and may never happen, to the present. So it's stealing your present peace. Let's also look at the past. So again, we know now if you're worried or creating what ifs, that's future worry. So now you can pull yourself out of that. But the past is this: if you are feeling depressed, low, zapped of energy, feeling guilt or shame or regret over something, those are all thoughts of the past. I wish that never happened is a really common way of recalling the past. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe he or she said that. I can't believe that happened, during my childhood, whatever it might be. Now, again, all of these are valid. I'm not saying that they didn't happen. In no way, shape, or form am I invalidating that. The problem is we're going back to our past. We're creating an image of the event or whatever happened, the words that were said, and then we're now bringing that to the present. We're making it vivid, we're making it bright, we're making it scary, or it's causing us pain in some way. So this is when I talk about neurolinguistic programming. This is neurolinguistic programming. We're always using it every single day. When we worry about the future, it becomes really vivid right now. Creates rise in adrenaline or norepinephrine or cortisol. And when we're worried about the past, it's also creating a weakening of our immune system and our overall energy and our get up and go by feeling this guilt or shame or regret or anything else associated with what happened in the past. But as I said before, and I'm not invalidating, if it happened in the past, you're bringing it forward. If it hasn't even happened in the future, you're bringing it to the present. Either way, you are eliminating your hopes for peace in this moment in time, inner peace, by not reminiscing in a good way, but reconjuring up the past or worrying about what may happen in the future. So today, what I wanted to simply share with you was, if you have that lowered energy, that lowered mood, that worrying about what happened in the past, or feeling the regret, the shame, the I can't believe I did that, I can't believe that happened, that's the past. That's what you're worried about. And when you're worried about the future, it's the what if and worst case scenarios. Neither one of those are ideal, right? Neither one are helpful. Sometimes the what if in the future causes us to change our present moment in not necessarily a negative way, but being more vigilant. Can't say that it's great for your present moment, but that's why we do have it, right? We have that to be more vigilant now and try to change things, course correct. So we have a more positive outcome. Not always bad, but if we stay there long enough, it really depletes us emotionally. We get burned out. Now, bringing things from the past forward, unless it's to learn from and become better, almost never helpful. It really isn't. It only makes us more worried about the future, and it steals our present peace by continuing to go over the stories of the past that are no longer in our present. So I wanted to share that with you here today. It's not the full story, right, of decreasing anxiety, decreasing depression. I definitely think working with a mental health therapist or counselor can be really helpful. I've given previous recommendations in the past. I, without a doubt, recommend running the Big 5 or at least the starter kit, which is called the Vitamin Tox Test, working with an integrative health practitioner level 2 or someone on the Equalife team. But as a truly integrative approach, there never is really typically just one answer. It's attacking things from a truly integrative, holistic-based philosophy rather than saying, oh, it's this one way to fix it. Work with a person through talk-based counseling. Find your vitamin, minerals, and deficiencies and omegas and gut health-based issues. And also begin to work on yourself. Work on pulling yourself back to that present moment through gratitude, through perspective. And I find that when you start to move more of these modalities together as one, that's truly where the magic happens. So hopefully today's show was helpful. As always, thanks so much for tuning into the Cabral Concept. If it was helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care, everybody, and I'll talk with you tomorrow on a brand new Cabral Concept. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.